omo case ni isense ba na say anything about Kennedy Agyapong dey him say ene as makopa asema ma me hu Kennedy Agyapong wa danfo
Alaska Ghana politics no sa na ebayenti no sometimes the beba na beba but with this Kennedy Anas issue yanyina ni baby start free and so we tin semana start here Kennedy Agyapong kind of evidence no evidence na some of us were hoping that by now the so-called evidence no was Anas a criminal wa kuni pano wa yewe no
right
kasa evidence na babontin and up to now yenyan hu bi Alaska issue no again political prominence when a court e Ghana has say with the famous defamation case I call so
that's right
and sa seminar course no we Anas court no bo Anas for and some that utie judge na otena case na nim no really not by no some emotional comment be or church shame I think that the Supreme Court judge ankasa condemn that particular way say seminar o kan ye no yensema ye friend saying Nisa judge a kasa seminar the courtroom
as if so ni Anas was
exactly I don't know okwatena bia ba ba bi na wo nom o we na fa wani so asa sansem hunu no ho na ye ka no ye ntena court dem en use the court as an avenue to settle personal and emotional score you have with somebody. Because the wedding and a kind of or crafty, in the judgment, you cannot just say he'll be a terrorist based on what you understand. But he said all this thing in a ruling, so clearly, give you a certain notion. He said he has some personal vendor to be scores to be against Anas because don't forget that the same Anas, in the past, exposure. Exposure no echi judge for mpanimfo mu okroma ebinumu jimponchen ebinumu na ma eda so within the judicial fraternity in Ghana no Alaska there is this fracture Anas akoso to the reputation of the entire judicial way so there are this your friend is saying nema esha manfo mu and that is one of those things are demonstrated here in the ruling because however Anas be fair in that judicial proceedings. They say, for Krana, you don't use that unprintable words as a judge in your ruling to describe a journalist. As a journalist, answer na Akufo-Addo aban beba power. Aban na Kennedy Agyapong kan ho a campaign no mo yema Ghana for no. They use the same Anas principle to approach Ghanaians.
Very well.
In their bid to fight corruption. Say yaba. We will employ the Anas principle. Anas principle no be any said the city Alaska. Anas principle on ma would them maybe say na ebansa na we are there no. Na why na man be ni operation obi anim how of us operate and Akufo-Addo knew the MPP government knew but eba ya ODBD omo then
and the principle no chain no
the principle no chief president chain as for and I yakobo Kennedy Agyapong pa ono na kan
that's right
say he was hired by government say ono na no den onko kansem and otuguma so Alaska issue no could be a US and then so babontia Anas nso adibem so within the media space there is this
Anas a default on that issue in Ghana
na wakodi bem
a US.
Yes.
So what is it to you? This judiciary way no US and Ghana.
Alaska, we in problems with our judiciary in Ghana. Never ho. But with this particular way, let me explain few things about Ghana for better.
Okay.
Alaska, the same case of the same equivalence. Bet me see. Ye bedi wo Ghana ha, ubedi for. Yabukwa did the same case US ubedibem. It's possible.
Really?
Oh yes, it's possible because we are talking about two different jurisdictions. Two different jurisdictions. Obia amra so far as your friends say defamation is concerned, totally different. There are similarities because my culture says so. Most of the international agreements na signing they don't want to say assembly by a court because even though you practice democracy, but within or my not differences. So if you are not careful, na sa wo ka se ye use on mine no adjudicatory process na yen settle whenever there is this way misunderstanding and am say when you well versed with the local laws no who ebia na nkoyi ma so abrofo no the investment but most of them prefer international laws.
Okay.
And they are standard practice yede anything na Ghana for you sign contract near abrogate obeti you say arbitration
but if you say standard laws it might be applicable to all nations or
yes they are standard way established to either and no you need changes bia unlike this defamation way because Ghana has say no say your case your friend say wo charge obi for your friend say defamation there are certain conditions that must be satisfied.
Okay.
And those conditions they are slightly the same but a bit different. And if you go US state by state obia na mra because go US the law on defamation is based on state laws and a bit of constitutional principles.
Okay.
So it is the US First Amendment and regulate this issue of contempt and as for them. But by Ghana has said na say contempt there are certain bits the burden of proof lie on whoever are or allege and the prosecutor to prove that indeed this basic element akoso one Alaska nipa no yes ya ye we na asem na okan no hwan na teye se me no kwhye dem na me gu anim ase a won't see me for contempt.
Okay.
Because answer na wetimi see obi for contempt there must be a third person,
a third party
wa publish it for the person to know say nsem na okan no wate. And again nipa na ye ka asem na kire no he should be a reasonable person of society na dwi mu da ho asem na okan no because ukojina bodamfo school na me kodi whatever bodamfo mu a Alaska uko see me enko ba bia
nipa no cross o tia so ye bodamfo
because they are not right thinking people of society abetimi die omojina ho aka asem. So you see and uko US Alaska defamation case ya wo nipa or your public person and your private person so obi a very popular like the US president and conditions are you need to satisfy and sana wetimi awene your friend is saying defamation is different from a private person.
Okay.
For instance US president na samba obi aka bi so unless say comment now be making is motivated by malice or being reckless who ko say no anya sa sometimes you are protected in your defense and therefore they be fair comment and as a personal opinion on public issues.
So when you can't win that case against.
No.
Okay.
You can't win. And your friend say asem na wo kan Ghana say no. You need to know asem na wo kan enya no kre. E your force just say wabo team na wo kan. And your friend is saying asem na wo kan no so e gu nipa nanim as ni reputation. And am say answer na obi reputation ube lower in the eyes of people those people must be right thinking men of society.
Okay.
And I'm catch say okwa abodamfo school na me no kojino na ye ko e wa abodamfo na me gu anim ase even though nipa o ho but the question is they are not right thinking men of society. Is that no fan come bia what I said now say. So I think that these minor differences I'm not saying that is what happened in Anas case but matisa amanfo can say because we win I'm saying that it's possible so the same case obetime di no ha ebekwa ama we the same case obetama call another jurisdiction.
I'm only serious because but this is somebody just sent a message from UK said Ivan referencing it to the say anybody winning one ne wakasa abodamfo but US no obi adwumu da ho.
That is it. But that is not what I'm saying.
Yes, that is what I'm saying. So I'm saying all this just to in average jurisdiction.
So that you understand.
So people and this thing is not applicable to this case. I'm just making a general comment. Before I come to announce the way, I'm making a general statement that because in average jurisdiction, conditions that must be satisfied to establish case of defamation, in every state, even in the US, every state,
Okay.
because condition that must be satisfied in maybe California, its conditions now different from
Alaska
or any other state.
Good.
There are slightly different. Ghana and follow common law, so most of our defamation will not establish.
Let's dive into that the issue.
So, Anas in the way case now, cause no. Yes, your friends say, Baby of no France, I send them Bill Gates. So we can't say no, a cab of ye.
That's right.
And the court will go goodness so. And Alaska, so would see said and some Lucy Corso. Not quite a really fast Babon thing. Now we shall quite a judge your crow and fast so handle the same issue. The ruling now or the buy, you know. Na and some of the wedding, no kind of fast and some all kind, yeah. And I generated a whole lot of controversy.
Good.
Because the judge printed and now say, just a so criminal, dear. A bit my. So people were hoping to see, say, the extent of criminality that was projected in the ruling here in Ghana, no, at least a certain degree must reflect in American situation. But Alaska, two opposite things. That is why man for a say, there is a problem. So what's the argument?
Appointed judges.
Yeah, appointed judges. Maybe baby. Yes, because it's been seen in the history of this country that said Judge Becca said, "Obiya, your friends also then something terrorist."
Oh yeah, or you shoot that.
Yes, investigative. Also investigative terrorists. There's an unprintable words. So in terms of criminal ladder, no. What project announce to WMO or your criminal so be mad. So the same case, no time they call US, even though the basic laws no are a bit different in terms of establishing case of defamation and so forth. I'm saying say announce it 20 to Ghana and you expect at least in Kobelo back to Abrosan 3. But Alaska where you to form the Edna which means there is no way why establish it. So that will give people concern. Then people will zoom in to the nature of the judiciary. Exactly. And yet here you in problems in that. How our politics IT so deep. Don't forget to say now Anas was going against political establishment. Corruption was so deeply entrenched in everything that they did. And this over here, there was consensus among government officials and people.
But don't forget, sir, in 2016, Anas exposing Ebua MPP Mamudi Power.
Oh, Nanas and I say I don't know more for
how. When Nakuba will use that bas principle, Anas principle.
That's right. Send into a starting conversation, Mr. Free or no. And to Alaska, Obaya didn't see or movie, you know. And now Chrono no senior, there's an NDO. Na akwasa wo hwe seasonal movie episode 1 episode 2 sometime episode 1 kwa wo hwe wie na 2 aba so obviously Anas will not be your friend.
No
Anas will not be your friend. No. So they devise a strategy say okay if that is the case yen say no let us whitewash Anas
touch on his credibility.
Yes. So the hatchet man they employed for that agenda Anas Kennedy Agyapong. Because on the timid matter on so and he said it.
I see don't people.
On brigade on the bit me and on kai or see about the pa and I high and say on ye and no quadjet to no say my ye. Until some days all can go so another day Anas na I revered name when it comes to your fight against corruption, you know. They destroy him. And the reputation Anas was demonized, they insulted or just say oh, in some ways, you can't find power. And this is how I say, when it gets to investigative journalism, in recent times, Anas is nothing to talk about within this your friends jurisdiction because Kennedy Agyapong pana ya born no. Wetimi ya ye ni I'm making sure say with the help of some few people within the media no so no the Anas concept has been trashed. And I yet there. So you come back to ask yourselves, Alaska. A buying our jet to no say or baba boy. Am I fighting corruption? So we will be away for and now I just saw about Chrono. I could forward a bind the baby tenor because yeah, Bano, you so Anas principle because Anas principle no, your friends a time tested principle. A bit me up where I'm fighting corruption, but then Anas principle no bet you buying no. Anas is the enemy now. I name the course so to the stand to say a brand here on any year Juma I am met swally. Alaska.
For the sake of your listeners.
The man might be something because of MPP. Senior party for no AC AUC. No match one London Amici and Garcia. And then I catch them. Only call them because the show baby I'm up on the Predino. Not the way MPP for person treated in one. In Cobium. It is a nice case by and paying for a video. And a who said, I tell a woman a big woman must almost see a new papa minute and I do not come and I'm in a short call radio station to go and defend the party. A real Siano, here, Kumanima Parliament, in Yabafra, in Copium, the touch them of play. Meaning Copium, or what MPP party headquarters, Equally Minister Biano, Samina Empire, or the clerk of Parliament. So, the man might be something Copium because of MPP. Senior party for no AUC.
Right, and the reference that Ivan making, and yes, Oboni team, and this is the voice. Ivan, I hope I've given you.
And this is the character people were pushing, say he should be president.
And His Excellency Kennedy Agyapong.
Yes, oh, Mate, 2028, I'm jokers. I'm good Alaska.
So, was this voice you were referring to?
Yes, he was hired by the party to employ every possible means to ensure that you destroy this guy, his reputation. And as I said, or any part of any Obian Casana, angel. Methods in the process or cannot be crossing and as for, but to certain extent he was giving people results and processing America, most of some of the major operations, they use some of these, operations to unravel it. I can't just say corruption. You new market baby, you did corruption over Toby. And something that is done in the dark. So you need to go dark to unravel it. And that is what he's doing. It's very dangerous, you understand? And Alaska, that is whole thing. So Kennedy Agyapong and a kwaji contract. A contract or kwaji no kwaji kwa and I'm no so I'm a nipa wu. Abanti na say okoton picture man no. Ya cheno.
That's right.
Na no wonder we ya cheno.
Or did somewhere pure abanti did
some do can be because Alaska for somebody away MP to sit on radio na ka say Abanti na wunim so investigative journalists. They don't show their faces and it's not only in Ghana to put his picture no Alaska. You see Okokot e fra dey be motive ben or nipa no not try to conceal his identity because of what he does no who project anya ba bia mfa the picture anto we be to social media say omo che na omo mo no say uhu no anywhere near his premises premises no Abrantia no to Medina Abrantia na ameswalo no to Medina Medina nso na o radio station wo so the possibility of the boy crossing close high. Good. So to say if he comes close to your premises, Nina will feed into the motive. You see, I am on focus. I was say on the one fear no fine, but you should know where the radio station is. And what Medina station so any place you ever pass around Biano, are you close? And where the boy was killed, go and ask them whether it was close to the place and the radio no one. I said not. So you cannot wash your hand and say we need hand womb. Physically, ebi anya wona wo ye and na wa mo obi pa but wano asem
your all transfers
ne nsem akwatena TV so ko show ni picture kan ho bi all this why ebi akro obi ami abrante no dada because nyuma no mo ye no betie nipa bebre na so omo pe no ba ebi na omo nim no de wo ye no you gave them onu nie nti nsa ana meka no kasa bebre nti no ameso ala ebi akro onim ho hwe it's possible. But no asem na asem na emotions ya nwini no you have provided incentive for obi ope bone edi
and am power di
the bone and Alaska issue na kwa back and forth police file kwa was kwa na uko police we ya say no kwa nya de ketewa but nza na anu abrante no wa tu kwan yo ya say ade bi na sie na oba Ghana ento be si ya no mo che no
so but let me ask you why is it that ye IGP we na de chia na ye che the software was it in the case na IGP former one was sitting on the case?
No, according to my sources there yes a boy no they no about Ghana so maybe it could be coincidence. Yes, because no sansem no see na o to free Medina so kokofo for so and o Ghana outside. So I think that day no was the day he was coming to Ghana and I'm for picking intelligence or airport and I'm fan.
Wow.
So any damn parody and bit me about Beshia, but it could also be it could be also I don't say information then in the movie brain to be an idea.
So
but the fact is
sum it up.
Kennedy Agyapong in this particular issue.
I see no people gate.
Sikano dia o mo dia to no so no there's no billionaire there on the hair. I say o cash in the menya so say anything na be kwatia so that aspect there yan ko Alaska.
I see omo akọ US be an Japan there wo no na omo akasa mo di we ato so. Enti omo yes ye ma me da wo ka but
na say over there yes anet here. Enti I don't know but I think that he has the right to appeal into enya nuru say that time no bedru e dia that to so can e dia ball you have right to appeal e be a call appeal to overturn it maybe the scan so but whatever and I think that he's within that particular way but emre bedru na wanya ho hwe na say duru say ya enforce the judgment will be enforced basa and opantes could have beton kwame nkroma pense ye binum bi kokuba akono papa de nti ye say ompe ye we ma say ye san line ye ton mo ne ma hina na mpa nyina ye ton ye ton man from mpa nyina ye de kotua and I think that these are some of the things we need to employ say we independent be sua nyansa
right.
So Alaska with Kennedy Agyapong issue no I think that a giveaway how the government failed us and the promise against grand corruption, you know, the government became the grand architect. So in that enclave, you know, Anas cannot survive. It's exactly why the entire state machinery went after him. They wanted to destroy him. But you see, this victory, they said Anas, I'm happy because it's not just about the money. You see, the reputational damage, you know, and the thing I very much concerned because according to the lawyers in the crowd, settlement, say they shouldn't even talk about money.
Okay.
He wanted the court to clear his name. Actually, how so much and dear so far as his reputation is concerned. So this money in there is just an advantage, keke. But a proves indeed. And some now Kufuado are binding as a force so go abranti and so So that people will continue to do the comparison. And I'm saying that it's possible the same case you will win here and lose there. But the gravity in some judge now 10 so keka yeah. Quite of us project Anas, you know. Now the gentleman, the same case, what by yet victorious in this case, you know. That should give you some kind of way to assume say the judicial there is a problem. And Alaska is one of the recommendations we'll be making. Say we cannot just sit here and say a change of government about so the judiciary should just go. No, Alaska there are problems. I will fee Supreme Court. Some of the appointment that Kufuado did, people are still sitting there. A man for a parliamentary candidate that was failing in his constituency, President at the Supreme Court judge, and there are several of them. Right. Are we saying that we are going to allow these people to sit? I think that the president settled down. He need to take his time and find a way of it to rebuild the confidence because that thing is trust me. That thing is people don't have confidence. And Alaska, injustice dispensation everywhere, trust and confidence. Man for reposu, that is the most crucial thing.
Madam say, MC,
maybe I would have won this particular subject matter. No, I'll give him the whole day. I would have given the whole day to Ivan Onkasa.
Okay.
Because seriously, he has in-depth facts about whatever it is that has to do with this issue. But when you look at the analysis here so far, the biggest aspect of all this issue, is about how our judiciary system has been exposed. And then and me how. Because if not for nothing at all, so now Evan and judgment now certain aspect of it should reflect.
Our the amount should reflect it. Okay.
You understand? 92.3. So if it's directly opposite, then you clearly see, say, seriously, it is not about the NDC that is criticizing the judiciary because we have gone to court on several occasions, on many occasions, and rulings have gone against us. And so therefore, we are calling the judiciary, say, beyond your incompetence, and that's on your capable, they are being biased and other things, which are said. But clearly, this Anas issue, because seriously, when we were growing up, and Anas started this thing, Anas thing started some time back. And at some point in time, it was even being shown on TV. and we were watching how he does it, and so when he was following this, how they kill this ritual killings and other things in regards to children. Like that was how he started with those things he's done. And so at least the guy, you know, to some extent with the investigative background, you know, over years such a renowned person, and Professor Amos came to promote him more. And having promoted him more, and what all year in Ejuma do you a benefit who is assessing the Nando Danko Akufado to the sense of wow public pronouncement seek to promote Anas, and then you say to replica says a woba you replicate what or not Anas, you know, and to unravel whatever it is when it has to do with finding facts, you know, then the other way around when we became, you know, and this is how we treat it.
To the extent he has to flee this country.
He has to flee the country for what crime? Because seriously, say some of the things I'm used to against Anas, say you use as a bait to get his victims into